Did you know there are specific settings when setting up a practice session that can help you become faster and better at building setups? Welcome back to Race Ready, where we are teaching you how to build or edit setups to become faster on the track. Today we are talking session setup and tools. If you are looking for a specific topic, check out these time codes on the screen. We touched on this in the first part, but Stint Analyzer is a great tool for understanding your tires and average lap times in iRacing. This is what it looks like when you first load up. There's no data, but once we get into the session and do a run, this is kind of how it looks. As you can see, you have metrics like what stint you were on, position, laps run, fastest lap, and customizable lists of average lap times. If you're in a session with AI or other real drivers, you can also see their lap times and their averages on the main screen and in lap time screens, but you will not be able to see their tire data. At the top, you have more view options. Because this is not a Stint Analyzer full review, we're just going to go over a few of these. Tires. This little tire logo will show you your tire wear. We use this a lot, but you will see in a future video, this can also be viewed in iRacing. But here you can look at multiple stints and compare. The graph view will show you lap times over a stint compared to another in graph form. This first logo is the compare. You can compare times from one stint to another in chart form. If you double click on a stint, you can see a more detailed information about that run and setup information. Exporting a setup. Stint Analyzer actually allows you to go back into a setup and save it. This is great because if you made a bad change or to a setup and saved over it, then you can go back and save that good setup from before.
Hey, this is Connor interrupting real quick. This section is actually wrong the way we recorded it, so in order to save a setup from Stint Analyzer, what you want to do is whenever you double click it and you can see all that extra data, there's a save setup here. You'll click that button, go down into the folder you want, and you can save it there. That is how you save a setup. Stint Analyzer, you see a bunch of people who have overlays on their screen. Stint Analyzer has one built in, and to view that in the sim, you just want to go up here to the top where it says overlays. You'll click that, show race overlay. You can lock and unlock this, and this is what it looks like. It's not as fancy as some of the others, but up here in this top side, you can see your laps that you've done remaining or the lap count. This depends on the type of session. You can see your laps for the stint, your stint's best lap, fuel. There's all sorts of information. This is wind, and this is just a great tool because you can see here you also have air and track temp. This is just a great tool to use. Me and PB both use it, and we don't run any of the fancy ones from Race Labs or anything else. We just run this one. It is free with the program, and it has served us well, so we just wanted to make you aware of that also.
Here we are in the iRacing UI. I'm going to walk you through how to set up the test session like we use to build or alter setups, like how we do it on a week-by-week basis. So the first things we want to do, we want to, we're here in the UI. We're going to find our series that we want to test for. For this instance, I'm going to use NIS. But if you have a league that uses custom dates, fuel, power, etc., it's probably best to be done through the AI single player. And even if you want to convert this into the AI single player and have somebody to run against, it is actually, you can do that as well because it saves everything until you change your next session. So if you want to, if you have to get off for a little bit or go, day by day, you can literally just come into the AI single player, hit test, don't have to do anything else. It saves all of what I'm going to show you. All right, so we're going to find the NIS series because that's what I'm going to use to test. So we see here, you can either do up next, official series, so come in here, NIS, and we're going to go to schedule right here. We're going to find our week. Just for the census. All right, here's Kansas. All right, we're going to look at this weather right here because this is kind of going to give us an idea of what we should be around for our weather. Okay, so we should be around 73, mostly cloudy. We're going to go racing. We're going to hit test drive. But what we want to do is we want to record our weather. You can do this two ways. You can either run 10 dynamic weathers and regenerate this weather, and it will populate up here, and you can get the forecast. And you can put it into a sheet like this, and it will spit out an average. This was kind of the old school way of doing it before this new season 2 update up to 2025, where they now give you a base weather for here. If you're going to use this base weather, you're going to want to copy these down into a sheet like this, or in a run average sheet of where you have these dates and these metrics that you need to keep and save week by week, and knowing that year over year, so that way you can go back and say, okay, this is what my setup was, this is what the weather was, and then okay, this is how it transferred year to year. So you need to, no matter what, save this if you're going to use this. If not, if you want to do how I do it to get the base weather, and you only want to get these base weathers because you want to test in these week by week, and you're going to do these every time you load into a session for that week or that series, or that you want to make sure you have the exact same weather. What we're going to do is we're going to open up, like I said, if we're doing this the old school way, we're going to open up my sheet here. This would all be blank. We're going to record 10 different sessions, and it will spit me out the average just like I showed. But we're going to pick a baseline time. So the session says here, race starts at 2. So if we view the forecast, this starts at 2. It goes all the way to 6, but we know the race isn't going to go on all the way to 6. So we're just going to pick an hour later. You can't win on the first lap. You win the last 10 laps, the last 5 laps, the last lap. That's when you're going to win. So that's when you want your optimum temperatures and your setup to be. So we're going to pick 3 p.m. for this instance. We're going to come in here. We don't have to worry about here, but like air temperature was 73. We were going to get our median humidity and then wind direction. So for this instance, our wind direction is going to be, it would technically be 12.5 south, but this one would be wind speed. I'm going to always go with a higher number. Here it's going to be south. So you're going to see it's populating. Median humidity would be 66. So for our cloud cover, we're going to go back and we're going to view the forecast. Clouds and participation. Like I said, we're looking at 3. So this is how I base my cloud cover percentages. If it's 0 to 15% in the bottom end, I say it's clear. In my sheet, come up here, cloud cover, clear. If it is 15 to 50%, I will say it is partly cloudy. If it is 50 to 80%, I will call it mostly cloudy. If it's 80 to 100%, I will call it overcast for the session. Once we have this down, then we can come in here. We're just going to hit regenerate. And then we will record these numbers right here into our sheet. So cloud cover, it says, like I said, it says 0 to 100. Now let's just go in here and we'll look at this real quick. Look at that. It says it's overcast because look all the way down here from 4 o'clock, 100%. So when I look at this and look at how it's going, I'm going to call this mostly cloudy for my sheet. And temperature, 3 p.m., 77 degrees. As you see, it's starting to populate. These are easy to make that kind of stuff. If you need help with a sheet like this, let me know. I can get you a template. And then once you do that, once you get your base average, we're then going to go back up here into weather mode. We're going to change it from realistic. We're going to change it into static. And we'll record our session. So we've got mostly cloudy, 73 degrees. Let's say the other one was actually clear. Let's just say partly cloudy. We're going to change our weather to what it was in the sheet. Like back. Oh, my humidity, 66%. Put this up. And then I'm going to test in these exact same conditions every single time. And the reason I want it to be static and not dynamic, because look, there's no time change. Time acceleration is unavailable when static weather is enabled. As you go through time during the session, it's going to get darker. It's going to change the conditions that which you originally started in, meaning whatever you were fighting with the car, the beginning may not be the same that you're fighting with now. So you always want to make sure you're testing in static conditions. So like I said, once we have that saved in our sheet, we have it forever. We cannot, now it's good. We don't ever have to worry about losing it. We don't have to worry about rerunning our averages. I will say for the quick and easiest way, the best thing to do would be to come in here to your test session, hit test drive, look at every single time. It's going to be the same time. It's going to be the exact same thing every single time you load into this because of the new weather update that iRacing made. So if we just want to record this and use this as our base, that's totally fine. Our actual race conditions should be fairly close to this. Now, I would not choose 2 p.m. I would go 30 minutes to an hour later because usually that 2 p.m. is qualifying or practice. I would go just a little bit further. If you want to do 230, if you just want to always do 30 minutes, whatever you do, stick to it. You don't want to some weeks do 30 minutes and like, oh, well, this is a different type of racetrack. I'll do an hour. Stick to it. Always do the same. But that's how I do my iRacing setup or my test sessions in the iRacing UI.
That wraps up how we set up and use iRacing and Stint Analyzer. So now it is time to get on the track and start teaching you how to make adjustments. Drop a like if you found this video helpful, and if you have any questions you can comment or join our Discord using the link in the description where we can help you out even more. Stay tuned for more and always stay on the search for speed.